Ever get that feeling like you're living in a made-up world? Like maybe it's all just a giant movie set.
Haha, I know what you mean. Well, we're not going down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole today.
Well, okay.
But we are going to be questioning reality a bit.
I like where this is going.
Through a philosophical lens, though, with a little help from the Truman Show.
Perfect. That's right up our alley. This excerpt we're diving into, though, keeps mentioning Gnosticism.
Right.
And honestly, all that comes to mind is like those Dan Brown novels.
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about here?
No, not quite like that Gnosticism. It's actually a whole belief system.
Really?
And a pretty intense one at that. Picture this. There's this lesser god, kind of a bad dude, and he's trapped our souls.
Whoa, hold on. Our souls? Like our actual souls?
Yep. The essence of who we are. Pure spirit. And this god, he traps us in the material world.
So like this world, everything we see and experience, that's the trap.
Exactly. Gnostics believe it's all an illusion. A prison designed to keep us from true enlightenment.
Okay, now that's a plot twist I wasn't expecting. So if we're stuck in this illusion, how do we escape, according to Gnosticism?
The key is gnosis.
Gnosis.
It literally means knowledge in Greek. But for Gnostics, it's not just any knowledge. It's about uncovering the truth that we're spiritually captive.
Heavy stuff. So by realizing this truth, by achieving gnosis, we break free.
Exactly. We become aware of the illusion, and that awareness is the first step towards escaping it.
And our excerpt suggests this whole escape from the fake world thing is what makes Gnosticism different from, well, what the author calls true religion.
Right. And to understand that difference, we need to bring in another thinker, Martin Buber.
Okay, I'm familiar with Buber. Big on relationships, right?
You got it. He believed true religious experience wasn't about ditching this world for something better.
Interesting.
It was about finding deeper meaning within our relationships, the divine spark in connecting with each other.
So, less about escaping reality, more about embracing it. That's pretty different from Gnosticism.
Totally different. See, Gnostics would see those very relationships, the connections, Buber values, as part of the illusion, another layer of the prison.
Because it's all part of the fake world they're trying to escape.
Gnosticism is about stripping all that away, even if it means isolation, to reach true spiritual freedom.
Wow. Okay, so we've got this intense desire for escape, for spiritual liberation, but then Buber comes in with a totally different take on how to connect with something bigger than ourselves. All right, so we've got this background on Gnosticism, this urge to break free from a fake world. How does that play out in The Truman Show? Because the excerpt we're looking at, it calls the first half of the movie a Gnostic rampage.
Yeah. I mean, can you blame Truman?
Not at all, if I found out my whole life was staged.
Yikes. Total freak-out moment, right. But the rampage part, the excerpt really focuses on how Truman reacts once he gets that gnosis, once he realizes the truth.
It's like, yeah, his whole world is shattered. But what makes his reaction specifically Gnostic?
It's about detachment. The way he starts pulling away from everything and everyone, especially Meryl.
His wife, yeah. It's like he sees her as another part of the lie.
Exactly. It's not just about escaping Sea Haven, that town he lives in. It's about rejecting those relationships that Gnostics see as part of the illusion.
Like that scene with the kitchen slicer, that's messed up on so many levels.
Right, and the excerpt points that out. He's literally trying to cut her out of the picture.
It's like he's trying to cut away the fake, even if it means hurting someone he cares about.
Yeah, it's disturbing, but it gets to the heart of that Gnostic desire, to break free from anything that keeps us in the dark, even our closest bonds.
Okay, so that's Truman in the first half, totally on a Gnostic mission. But then things change, right? The excerpt mentions this shift.
Yeah, this is where the Truman Show gets really clever.
He goes back to his routine, keeps living that staged life.
But he knows. That's the key. He's still aware of the cameras, the fakery.
So he's not really a Gnostic hero anymore, is he? He's not fighting for escape the same way.
Exactly. And this is where I think the movie transcends that whole escape narrative.
Yeah.
It asks, what happens after the escape?
Because clearly just breaking free doesn't solve everything. He's still stuck.
Right. But the film starts to explore a different kind of fantasy.
Go on.
Truman might have failed to escape physically, but in that attempt, he's become something else, the center of attention globally.
Everyone is watching him now.
He's gone from prisoner to this object of fascination.
And that's a different kind of power, isn't it? A different relationship with the world he thought he knew. It's like he traded one prison for another. He's free from that staged reality, but now he's trapped by everyone watching him.
Right, and the film, it highlights this shift in a really subtle way. Remember how much time we spend with Ed Harris?
Christoph, the show's creator.
Yeah, him. And all those viewers glued to their screens. It's like Truman almost fades into the background.
It's true, we get so caught up in their reactions to him, their interpretations of everything he does.
Exactly. It's no longer just about Truman escaping. It's about us, the audience, both within the film and watching it.
So where does that leave the Truman Show in terms of Gnosticism? Is it saying escape is bad? Or is there something more going on?
I think that's what makes it so brilliant. It doesn't give us a simple answer. It makes us think.
Okay, I can get behind that. But how does it all tie together? We've got this escape fantasy, Buber's ideas about connection.
Right, and if you think about it, Truman's escape, it does lead to a different kind of connection, even if it's not what he expected.
Because now the whole world is connected to him.
In a way, yeah. He's broken free from that one reality, but he's still trapped by the gaze of others. It's like this weird reflection of our own world.
Where we're constantly being watched, analyzed, even though it's not on a Truman Show level.
Exactly. And the film makes us question, is that connection enough? Is it real? Or is it just another layer of the illusion?
And what about those relationships Gnosticism tells us to reject?
Right. The ones Buber says are so important. The Truman Show, it doesn't give a definitive answer. But by bringing in these different ideas, these contrasting views, it makes us really consider what true liberation means.
Is it about escaping to some pure, isolated state? Or is it about finding meaning within the messiness of human connection, even with the knowledge that none of it might be truly real?
Heavy stuff, right? And maybe, just maybe, there isn't one right answer. Maybe it's about asking those questions, grappling with those ideas, and finding our own way through this crazy, staged, or maybe not so staged, world.
And on that note, anyone up for watching The 13th Floor, the excerpt mentioned it explores similar themes about simulated realities and escape.
Ooh, now that's a deep dive for another day.
For sure. Until then, keep questioning, keep exploring, and who knows, maybe you'll find your own escape route. Or maybe you'll realize the real journey was inside all along.